wonderful. And moving on, question number 7 here this week. We decided to do an extra bonus question. So question number 7 here comes in from Chris. Hi there, Chris. Thank you for being part of the amazing WiggyWam community. Chris's question is, we're first-time buyers and are thinking about putting an offer in on a 3-bedroom detached house. It's quite old and has warm air heating system installed with no radiators. My question is, would it be worth keeping and upgrading it, or is it more efficient to upgrade to a central heating system with gas boiler and hot water radiators? Are there any permissions that are needed for this type of work? And would we be able to negotiate the price based on the cost of upgrading or changing this system? If so, then by how much? Okay there, Chris. Well, thanks for the question. Quite comprehensive that you've got there, and great that you found a property that looks like it could be the one for you. These are quite interesting. I haven't seen many warm air central heating systems, if I'm honest, in all the years of looking around properties, and that's probably 20 plus years experience of looking at different houses. I think they were quite fashionable probably back in the 60s, I think, off the top of my head. Yeah, the whole idea would be that that they would blast warm air into the room to keep it warm. But unfortunately, I think the way I look at this sort of a question, Chris, similar to how we looked at the ground source heat pump question earlier, is looking at what the common trends are within the housing industry. And there's a reason why a lot of properties have gas boilers with hot water central heating systems, and that they don't have these warm air heating systems. And I would suggest that really does come down to efficiency. And the whole idea being that if this house has got this warm air central heating system, it probably was okay at the time when it was built, but as time has gone on, greater and better technology has come in the form of condensing boilers and combi boilers now, which are a lot quicker and easier to heat the property a lot quicker. And as a consequence, you'll probably find that if you took a life cycle expenditure for the next 20 years, you'll probably find that your warm air heating system will cost you a lot more over the long term than a traditional central heating system. Okay, so that's just my take on it. I would not want to necessarily upgrade it if it was myself. I'd want to maybe change it for a normal central heating system with a gas boiler. By doing that, you're going to bring it into the realm of understanding of a lot of future buyers who are looking to buy the property when you decide to move up the ladder. Okay, and it's also I would imagine a lot more cost effective in terms of finding the right plumber who can come in and do this work for you without having to have specialist knowledge on a warm air central heating system. Okay, so that would be one thing I'd look at doing. In terms of the permissions that are required, you obviously want to be going to a gas safe registered plumber to install a gas boiler and central heating system. Okay, they should all have their gas safe register number readily available to you. I would always go for 3 quotes on something like this. Okay, so speak to 3 different plumbers in your particular area, ask them about their availability, ask them to provide you with a full quotation broken down as to what each element of the work is going to provide for you. The reason why you want to ask for that is because if they and ah and go, oh yeah, I'm not really doing that sort of thing now, or we're so busy we don't have to provide those quotes, then they're probably not the right person for you. So it's just to get a bit of a steer on how willing they are to work with you and to provide the information that you're asking for here. So just go for a gas safe registered engineer. You can check their number, their gas safe registered number on the gas safe website, just to check that they are legitimate. That is something that happens more commonly than you might believe. So just double check that they are a legitimate person in terms of their technical skills and qualifications to be able to fit a gas boiler sensibly and securely, and so that it is properly vented and that that's not going to cause major problems in the future for you. In terms of the price of doing this sort of thing and then negotiating the purchase price on the property, the couple of things that I would say here, Chris, would center around what's the overall condition of the property in. It sounds to me as though, as it is an older property, it is going to require quite a bit of work doing to it, and therefore it might be priced accordingly. Now, if I were in your shoes, Chris, the way I look at buying these types of properties is that I always start low and then gradually work my way up, but I'll always have a limit as to what I will go to. And the problem I see with a lot of people, particularly first-time buyers, and I'll share this example with you for a friend that I helped or tried to help, shall we say, who was a first-time buyer, and they were buying their first property. But it was quite a funny story, actually, because they looked at this 3-story property. It was a 3-bed townhouse, and it was quite old. And they asked me to go and have a look at it for them. So I went in as a surveyor to look at this property, genuinely to do a survey on the property. And because it was my friend, I was like, okay, I need to do a really good job here because I need to make sure I don't miss anything that's going to cause them a problem in the future. And so I spent quite a bit of time going around the property, doing my sort of building surveying bit of investigating. And what I noticed, one of the major jobs in the property was that I noticed the plaster work had started to debond from the brickwork. Okay, now that is a pretty major job to be doing. This property was probably, I don't know, when would it have been built? 1920s maybe. So quite an older property. And with the plaster beginning to debond from the brickwork, eventually it will start to come away in sheets. Okay, and the challenge was I identified probably £30,000 worth of work to be done to this property that was pretty unseen. The property looked in pretty good order, right? So identifying this sort of 30 odd grand's worth of work, they hadn't taken that into account when they viewed it. And I think it was up for sale at the time. I might be getting the numbers slightly wrong here, but it was up for a sale for about 120,000, I think it was. And they said, well, what would you go in with as your first offer? And I said, honestly, the property's on the market at 120. Its market value is about 130 in really good condition. I'd probably start at 90,000, and as it's a property you're going to live in for the next 10 years, maybe go up to 95. That would be my boundary because there is quite a bit of work that needs doing. And they went in at 90,000, okay, as their first offer, and that was not backed by the estate agent. So their next offer was 120,000, which was the asking price for the property. And I was like, okay, you didn't think to maybe go up in stages gradually with this sort of thing? And it was a clear case of, they'd fallen in love with the property. They wanted it as their home. And as far as they were concerned, if they spent, that 30,000 over the next 5 years, that was okay with them. It didn't sit well with me, but then again, I wasn't buying a house, so it doesn't really matter. But in your situation, Chris, the point of telling you that story is that if you're in that similar sort of situation, you've got a head and the heart scenario to weigh up here. So the head is probably saying, well, it needs this work doing to it, and it's blah blah blah. I'm going to be spending this much on it. But then the heart is saying it's the right property, it's in the right location, it's the right size. Because of the work that needs doing to it, I'm able to buy it at a better figure than I would have done a property that's done up. So is it worth taking the hit now and spending that money over a longer period of time to really get what we want in the right area and at the right price? And that is a question that I can't answer for you, unfortunately, Chris, because it does come down to how badly do you want it, and is there any other property available in the area that doesn't need this much work doing to it? It's probably as simple as that, and that you actually like. Because this is one of the things that I've noticed about buying and selling property in the UK is that there is a lot of properties that are very unique, unless you're in the, shall we say, the new build estates and what have you. Sometimes a lot of properties are very unique, and as a consequence, it's very difficult to find matching properties in better condition or worse condition, and sometimes you've got to bite the bullet. So putting a new gas central heating system in is probably going to be, I don't know, 7 grand, 10 grand, depending upon the size of the property. But then you have to take a balance of that against all the other work that you're going to do to the property, the desirability of that property, i.e. have you got more than 1 or 2 buyers after it at any one time, and ultimately what is it worth to you in terms of buying the right property in the right location at the right price. Okay, because just to give you some context on this, Chris, some people will buy a house like that and they'll put an Aga in it, for example, And if you don't know what an Arga is, it's a great big range cooker that's, heavy as hell, and is almost on 24/7. And people will buy that and they'll put it in there and they'll love it to bits. Other people will buy that same property with an Arga in it and they'll get rid of the Arga because they go, it's going to cost me too much money to run it. I don't want it. And we're all different and we're all very unique in our choices of the types of properties that we want and what we're going to use them for. So hope that's given you some steer, Chris, on what the right thing to do is. Let me know, obviously, if there's anything else that we can do to help and support you in that moving journey. But I think it looks like it could be an excellent opportunity for you. Grab yourself a copy of Home Buyer Secrets if you haven't, because this will probably help you with the negotiation strategy and to give you a little bit more background on what's required as you're going through the purchasing process. So it's not just about landing the right property at the right price. It's then about keeping that deal together all the way through to completion. So hope that helps with you, Chris. As I say, let us know if we can do anything else to help you. And I'm wishing you all the best of luck with that. And it sounds like it's going to be a nice little project for you to cut your teeth on. So good luck. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of today's webinar. Thank you so much indeed for joining us, as always. We're here the same time, same place every week, doing this, answering your property questions as much as we possibly can in the time that we have available. So you can send your questions through to us via email, which is happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. That's happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. You can also go to our website, which is wiggywam.co.uk. That's wiggywam.co.uk. You can set up a free profile on WiggyWam. You can access an entire catalogue now of blogs, broadcast, news articles, all sorts of things that can help you with your moving journey, including an entire video training suite put together by myself that will guide you through the entire process of finding, viewing, offering on, and buying your next property. Okay, that's an incredible amount of value that we've crammed into that video training suite there. You can also send your questions to us via Twitter. Twitter handle is @WiggyWam_UK. So that's @WiggyWam_UK. And we'll look forward to answering your questions on a future webinar very soon. And if there's anything else that we can do to help or support you in your moving journey, please do let us know. We're here to help. We're here to serve. We're here to do our very best to look after you in your moving journey. And we'll look forward to seeing you on a future webinar very soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining me today, and bye for now.